Hey, my peeps. Hey, we're going to start another series of video devotions. I've missed you guys. I've been studying, a little delayed on this, but I want to get this out there. We're all hyped up for Easter, resurrection morning. The atmosphere was filled. There was a change in the air for Easter morning, resurrection Sunday. And then what happened? It was kind of like we lost traction there. But there was a lot of things happened after the resurrections of Christ. And that's what I want to teach you guys about. For the next few nights, we're going to be speaking. I want to teach you guys on the 40 days of Christ. Now, I'm not going to teach on every moment that Jesus appeared. What I'm going to teach on is what stood out to me as I began to study the 40 days of Christ after the resurrection of Christ. The first thing I want to talk to you about is after the resurrection of Christ, on that glorious resurrection morning. If you'll go to the book of John 20, 11 through 18, early that morning, it says, before it was even daylight, Mary Magdalene was there. She began to look into the tomb there. And as she was into the tomb there, she began to see that Jesus was not there. As she looked into the tomb there were two angels that were inside of the tomb there. And they said to her, Mary, why are you weeping, Mary? She said, they've taken my Lord. She turned and she seen, but she didn't know who was there with her. She perceived that there was a gardener that was there with her, but it was no gardener. It was because all of a sudden something happened. Jesus said this to Mary. He said, Mary. He called her name. And when he called her name, she began to turn and she began to look. And she said, Rabbi. And she realized who it was. And she went and she just wanted to grasp him. She just wanted to hold him. And Jesus told her this. He said, Mary, he said, I need you to stop holding on to me because I have not yet ascended back to my Father. But I need you to go tell the others. I need you to go tell them that I have not ascended to my Father, but my Father will be your Father, and my God will be your God. So Mary began to leave, and she began to go back, and she began to tell the others. That was the first appearance of Christ after the resurrection. That was on the Sabbath, the same day, the resurrection Sunday. That was before it was even daylight. Good. Jesus appeared to Mary. So from this instant, what can we learn? He didn't want Mary to hold him, to embrace him. He didn't want her to hold him in an earthly way, because there was going to be a spiritual presence to come forth. Look at this before Jesus was crucified. Remember Jesus as he was passing through the town there, and there was a crowd of people all around him. There were so many around him. They were probably bumping into him. There were many around him there. And all of a sudden there was this woman. She was desperate. She had an issue. She wanted to get to Jesus there. Even though they were all around him, they were touching him. She thought there was no way that she could get to him. But even though where she was, she knew that she had to get up. In her physical appearance, in her physical shape, she had to make a move toward Jesus there. As she began to get up in desperation, she knew she needed a touch from God God there. As she got up, she was in the crowd also, but she was a little bit lower than the rest of them, because it says she got down and she began to touch the hem of his garment. And all of a sudden Jesus said, "Someone touched me." And they said, "Jesus, there is many that has touched you." He said, "Someone has touched me." See, there was something different in the touch there that the woman had there. She was desperate. She needed to move in her physical relationship where she was. She needed something differently, so she moved in her physical body. When she began to move, she moved toward Jesus. Are you seeing what has happened here? She moved toward Jesus. And she was healed. She was spiritually healed. So God is telling us the first time that He appeared there, hey, wherever you are, hey, just move. When you get to that desperate place, we need you to just move. Just move as you have not moved before. It doesn't matter what your neighbor says, your mom says, your dad says. It doesn't matter. God is getting you to a point. He is positioning you for a miracle to happen. And it's already granted to you. You just need to reach out. And you need to take what God has already given you. By His stripes, you are healed. By the blood that was shed, you are healed. So we learn from Mary. You've got to reach out and touch. You've got to reach out and touch. Get to that spiritual place and let God touch and begin to work in your life. Hey, Christ appeared 2 more times on the Resurrection Sunday. We're going to talk about the second appearance next. Hey, see you guys again.